So on the one hand, we are one of the largest sources of infrastructure for delivering scale and traffic to native advertising campaigns. And on the other hand, our ad offering is inherently a native advertising product. So on the first side of things, what we really do is we have an enormous network of publishers who are able to drive traffic to any great content that a user is interested in, whether that's an actual publisher in the traditional sense who has journalists and pumping out wonderful content, or brands who are increasingly becoming publishers and producing their own content, whether it's owned media, earned media, or in close communication with publishers and in close collaboration with publishers on the publisher site itself. So, we've had an example recently of Atlantic Media leveraging Outbrain to drive traffic to their own native ads created on behalf of a pretty large brand like Goldman Sachs. So, one of many examples, and they're going to be becoming far more frequent, both for Outbrain and the industry at large. At Outbrain, we work with over 1,000 different publishers, and most of them being premium publishers. We serve 80 billion recommendations per month, and a lot of these publishers are household names like CNN, like Fox, like Hearst. So what they leverage Outbrain for is really content discovery, either of their own content within the walls of, say, a CNN, or content that exists outside of the publisher's own environment. So we're powering discovery. Search is a very different user behavior. Users know what they want for search. What Outbrain does is everything outside of search, where you're looking for something when you're searching, but with Outbrain you're discovering and coming to something that you maybe didn't look for but find interesting. So a user will be browsing, for example, on CNN's website or mobile site. They'll come to the bottom of the article and they'll see a series of recommendations. On one side, they'll see internal recommendations from CNN. And these are personalized recommendations that Outbrain's technology algorithms power on behalf of users. Next to that content, or in the case of mobile, right below that content, they'll see recommendations as well, but from third-party publishers or brands who have interesting content as well. So what we do is really, we're a leading player in allowing users to discover great content and publishers to provide the kind of recommendations both on their site and externally that keeps a user engaged. Video is obviously a hugely valuable category, especially on tablets. We're seeing over-indexing of video consumption on tablets. It's a lean-back medium. It's an after-work evening medium. And so we're sitting on a bunch of interesting data when it comes to video consumption habits from users. And what we do is ensure that the right video content, both from publishers within their sites and video sections, is in our index. But also we have a number of buyers, both publishers again and brands, whether it's YouTube content or earned media or owned video content, where publishers and brands are actually leveraging the Outbrain network to drive traffic to those content areas. And it makes sense because it's high value content, it's high engagement content, and high CPM content. For publishers, we provide the internal recommendations as a free service, and any third-party links are paid links, and we engage in a revenue share with our publishers. The buyers work with us in a very simple fashion. It's CPC basis, flexible, budget controls, CPC controls. The buyer has total control on how they run the campaign. It's actually a lot simpler than search in that we just simply take a few URLs or as an RSS feed, and a buyer can be up and running within a day. And ultimately, the ability to manage that campaign, optimize that campaign, is there without the complexity of hundreds and thousands of permutations of search and bidding terms and keywords. So we're finding it to be an interesting model for buyers, and one that publishers really like because they get more traffic and more engagement, but they're also able to drive incremental revenue outside of their display and IAB ad units.
So listen, learn, speak, provoke, but most of all, just drink it in and enjoy.